Welcome to Beyond Words, Active Listening Skills for the Court Reporting Profession. And today we're going to be focusing on uh, hear more, understand more. How do we do that? How are we able to hear more and understand more? So today we're going to talk about empathy and how empathy helps us. Um, Empathy helps us to be able to hear more and to understand more. Okay? That's what we're going to be talking about. And let me just situate this here. I don't know what's going on. All right. So, what is empathy? Let's start off with empathy. People love to be heard. They really do. They love to be heard. And in today's talk, we're going to talk about the benefits and the applications of empathizing with active listening skills. Okay. Now, there are so many benefits and so many applications, I would never be able to cover them all. I probably could talk about this topic for many years and we wouldn't even touch the surface. So today we are just going to introduce how empathizing with people, using that skill of empathizing, helps you to be able to hear people and to understand when you're conversing with them, when you're talking with them, right? So we're going to share 3 scenarios using empathizing with active listening skills in everyday life, in our personal life, how it applies in our personal life, and also how it applies in our professional life as a court reporter using the skill of stenography. Okay? Now, there are 10 benefits. There are 10 benefits that we're going to look at, how we can benefit from empathizing with active listening in everyday life as a stenographer. That we're going to look at 10 benefits, okay? So let me just tell you what they are, and then I'm going to loop back, and then we're going to talk about it. And I'm going to use my skill, my knowledge, my experience to expound on the aspect of the stenographer. Now remember, this is just an introduction, and if this is an interesting topic, this can maybe get you fired up so that you can do your own research and learn more about active listening skills, right? So let's talk about it. When you're empathizing, when you're communicating with people, it will help to create stronger relationships, improve communication, increase self-awareness, enhance emotional intelligence, reduce stress, which is a great one for court reporters, because I'm telling you guys, we get so stressed when we're trying to capture the spoken word because the environment is stressful. You're trying to capture the spoken word and people are heightened up in their emotions and trying to, the lawyers are heightened up because they got a presentation to share and they have their questions all lined up. And so they're ready to go. And the witness is nervous, right? The witness is nervous. So we want to be able to decrease the stress in ourselves and also maybe decrease some of the stress that the witness may be feeling, or even the lawyers. We can be a little buffer when we use empathy, okay? When we use the skills of empathizing, reducing stress. That's a great one. That's a big one. When you're using empathy, it can increase creativity and problem solving. I got my notes, y'all. That's why I'm looking down. It can improve conflict resolution. When people know that you are listening, you can hear, and you can sympathize, not sympathize, but you have empathy for them. In other words, you can put yourself in their place and you can feel what they feel. You can understand where they're coming from. People love that when people feel heard and understood. And so when you're using that skill of empathy, on the spot, in the moment, you become creative. You become a problem solver in that situation. That's what empathy can help you do. It can improve conflict resolution. You know, there's some of us, that's what we do. We work in an environment where we are arbitrators or judges, and we're trying to help people resolve conflicts. But when you use empathizing skills, you can improve conflict resolution. We got three more. Number 8, you can increase compassion and understanding. You know, people feel good when they can experience compassion, right? And when they are understood. Empathizing can help improve well-being. Well-being. And then the last one that we're going to touch on today is professional growth. Empathizing can help you with professional growth. Okay, so let's go back. Let's circle back and talk about what is empathizing. What does it mean to empathize? Okay. So empathizing is identifying with the person or the speaker's feelings, their feelings or experiences. When a person knows that you can relate, in other words, you got to be relatable, and understand how people are feeling in that moment. They appreciate when you can empathize with them and you can identify with what they're feeling. Also, you can identify in what they are experiencing. Now, I just want to stop and pause for a moment because, you know, as a court reporter, our job is to capture the spoken word. I use stenography, stenographic skills. And so my job is to capture the spoken word. And sometimes by just posing yourself in that physical presence, what I want to say is you're sitting there, you got your machine, you're sitting there, you're looking at the witness, you're looking at the attorneys, you're looking back and forth because you're trying to capture the spoken word. When you make eye contact with the witness and when you nod or, if they know you're listening, it lets them know that you're there, you're present with them, and you empathizing. You can hear me. You're taking my words. The very act of a reporter, actor capturing what a person is saying, it does something to an individual to make them feel like, you know what, I'm being heard. She's writing down what I'm saying. That act in itself helps a witness to want to say more, right? As far as the reporter trying to relate, you can't, as a reporter, communicate to the witness that you have had that same experience, right? We're not trying to get that far into it. We're not trying to identify with the witness, right? We're just trying to create an atmosphere where the witness is understanding that they are being heard and understood and their testimony is being taken, okay? So empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others, to share in the feelings. Stenographer, court reporter cannot share in the feelings, right? We're not there to share feelings, no. But we're there as a human being, there to take the testimony. And so there are ways that we can let the witness know, I'm present, I'm here, I hear you, okay? And so eye contact, it's important to make eye contact from time to time with the witness. And sometimes you might smile when it's appropriate or nod. Sometimes just to let them know, I got it, I'm getting it, right? You can nod to let them know, I heard what you said. And sometimes, every now and then, we might interject as a stenographer and let the witness know, can you repeat that, please? Because you didn't hear it, right? In that moment, you're connecting with the witness. You're connecting with the witness, and the witness will be able to in some cases, they're too nervous to say, repeat exactly what they said. So sometimes we can let them know, listen, this is what I did. This is what I have. Read what we have. Make that connection. That's making a connection. Any interaction with the witness is a connection to let the witness know, I'm here, I'm present. I want to hear what you have to say. I'm here to take your testimony. And I want it to be accurate. So that's why I'm interacting. So that's a little bit. Sometimes what I do before the proceedings even start, I let the witness and counsel know there may be times when I will interject because I didn't hear something, or maybe it was too fast. Maybe, testimonies overlapping. And so I will ask for a repeat. And so when people are able to repeat, that's good. And sometimes they're not. Sometimes the attorney will just reformat the question, right? Restate the question in a different way, or just repeat the question. Because sometimes attorneys have documents and they have their questions written down. Sometimes they'll just read the question. Okay. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. Simply put, it's like walking in someone else's shoes and trying to feel what they feel. And this reminds me of when I was as a young reporter. I was trying to be so in tune with the witness, hearing what they were saying, capturing the spoken word. And there were witnesses that were in court with a case because they had a physical injury. They were injured in a physical way, and they are disabled. And sometimes they would talk about their injuries and how they felt, and they were so descriptive in how they felt. I was right there with them. You know what? I was so right there with them, so in tune with what they were saying. I started to feel those pains that they were describing. And that's something that we don't want to get so empathetic, so in tune with the witness that we start to experience the pain and the suffering that they have experienced. And that's why they're in the courtroom. And so I had to pray about that because uh, we don't want to be sitting there as court reporters experiencing what the witness has gone through, the plaintiff, right? They are injured, they have a disability, they went through pain and anguish. We don't want to be so in tune that we start to experience that. So we have to kind of, when that starts to happen, we have to kind of, in our emotions and in our listening, we have to start to change the way we listen. Okay, change the way we listen to the testimony. We have to get in a mindset, I'm here to capture the spoken word. I'm here to hear what you have to say. Yes, I am here. I am present. I am here to get a job done. And then your focus is not only on listening, using your active listening skills to listen, but now you start to listen, to look at your skill set, how I can improve the way I write. Okay. And that will keep you from getting so in tune to the witness or whoever is speaking about the pain and the anguish and the sorrows and the sadness and the happiness and the joys, getting so wrapped up into that you start to physically start to experience what they have experienced. Professionally, empathy in a professional way is about understanding your clients, your colleagues, or customers' perspectives. Understanding perspectives, even if you personally do not agree with them. And you know what? As a stenographer, we hear all kinds of stuff in the courtroom and in deposition rooms, conference rooms. Witnesses are talking about all kinds of stuff. And we're not there to agree. We're not there to uh, to personally have a stake in what's being said, to personally agree with the testimony, because then you are not neutral. As a stenographer, we have to be neutral. We can't be for one side or the other. We can't favor one side or the other. We're there to capture the spoken word. And we are there to use our active listening skills to help us to capture the word and to stay on point. Okay? When we use empathy, it will help us as we understand what's being said, identifying. Yes, we can identify. Okay? We can understand the experience. Maybe we didn't go through it, but we have some knowledge about it. It will help us to be able to listen on a better level. We'll be able to listen in a way that we can hear more. We can hear more about what is being said, okay? We will be able to hear more and be able to understand more as an active listener. Okay, so I just wanted to talk about that empathy part before we got into looping back over to talk about those 10 benefits that I talked about before. Let's see, are there any questions? Let's just pause a moment. And in the chat box below, I would just like for you to write down in the comment section, can you relate to anything that I've said? Okay, write down your thoughts. Is active listening skills something that you struggle with, that you would like to improve? And put in a question or comment, and we'll see if we can answer that. And before we go on, let's just take a brief moment. I want to go and actually share my screen for a moment, and we're just going to take a short break, like about 20 seconds. And I would like for you guys to look at my PowerPoint slide just for a moment, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. All right, I am back. I'm back, guys. All right, I have to go grab something right quick. Let's see. So I'm gonna check went to go get my phone so that I could see if there were any questions on the screen, because the way YouTube is showing this on my screen, my entire screen is filled. Let's see. Hold on one moment. I'm gonna go to my YouTube platform. And I want to say I'm so excited about what is happening with YouTube. Just to interject very quick, I am starting to post more regularly on YouTube, and we are talking about active listening skills until I just feel exhausted with this topic. I just feel like, there's just so much to be said about active listening skills. And when I began to study about this topic and began to apply what I'm learning in the courtroom or in deposition sessions, I tell you guys, my stress has gone down. I'm more relaxed. And it does allow me to hear more and understand more, because the stress is not there. And that's what we want to do. We want to get rid of the stress. We want to be able to listen and understand what's being said. Okay. So far, looks like we don't have any chat. Let's see. We don't have any comments yet, but when you do comment, if it's not during the broadcast, when I come back, I will answer those questions. All right, so now we're going to talk about the 10 benefits of empathizing with active listening skills as a court reporting professional, okay? And we're also going to talk about how it applies in our personal life. So the first one is stronger relationships. We all want stronger relationships. And we know that communication is like the biggest thing that can, if we don't know how to communicate well, it's going to affect our relationships. People are not going to want to listen to us. They're not going to want to hear us. So empathy, to empathize with another individual, putting yourself in their shoes and being relatable, is going to build that deeper connection, okay, with people, with your family, with your friends, okay, with your romantic partner, with your with your fiance, with your husband, your wife, empathizing with them, letting them see that you understand where they're coming from, that you understand the situation. Maybe you don't know it, fully, but try to say something that could let them know that you understand and that you are relatable, that you can identify with what they're saying, right? Um, and not only be relatable, but try to feel as you're talking with them. Now, this is talking about just a regular conversation. When you're talking with someone, try to identify what they're feeling. Try to understand what they're feeling in that moment. And then when you're having that conversation or that dialogue, or when you're trying to have that dialogue, it would help them to be able to open up and say more. And it will also allow them to have less stress and feel more relaxed with you as you're speaking. In these relationship, having a stronger relationship is really so important. As a stenographer or professional in the court reporting profession, we want our clients to trust us. We want our witnesses, when we're taking down their testimony, to trust that we have the skills and that we're present and that we're there to do the job, and that we are taking what they're saying seriously and writing it. We want to have rapport with the attorneys when we're coming in for the day, first thing in the day. We want to make sure that you're greeting the attorneys, that you're giving them that smile, that you relate with them. We're all here today. Maybe there was, maybe traffic was really bad today, and you can say something about the traffic, like, wow, traffic was really bad today. We all can relate to that. We all went through that experience. We got through the traffic and we are here and we made it. And everyone can agree with that. And so we all have experienced that traffic, things like that, can help relax the atmosphere and have people be open to work with you. All right. We want to set a tone when we come into the room. We want people to trust that we're there to work. We're professional. We want to develop a rapport with the lawyers, like I say, speaking to them when you come in, being, friendly. And this will help you with capturing the spoken word. I have experienced this actually myself. When I come into, there have been times when agencies have said to me, don't say nothing. Don't talk to the attorneys. And I don't think they understand that as a reporter, a professional working with attorneys, you have to talk with them. You have to talk, you have to dialogue with them on a professional level, of course, because we're working together in a group today. They may never see me again, but we want to know that, have the attorneys feel comfortable and confident in us when we come in. So we want to empathize about being there, right? Number 2, improve communication. Okay, so every day, empathizing reduces misunderstandings and conflicts by ensuring clear understanding of the other's perspective. Reduces misunderstanding. This is a big one, right? This is a big one. We want to improve our communication. And we no doubt want to reduce misunderstandings and conflicts. So when people can relate, when you're relatable and you understand, people understand, you can understand the conflict. So you have to have a dialogue that actually shows that, let me read that again. Reduces misunderstandings and conflicts by ensuring clear understanding of the other's perspective. There got to be a dialogue, guys. You have to talk. You have to be able to express the conflict, okay? And be clear about your understanding of the other person's perspective. And the only way you're going to be able to hear the other person's perspective, you have to allow them to talk and you have to listen. There are many times when people are talking, and even I have experienced it, where I'm trying to speak, I'm trying to get my point of view across, and I'm being interrupted. I'm being interrupted. I'm not being heard. So to improve that communication and to get the person's perspective, you have to listen. Listen to what they're saying, what they're saying. Get their perspective. If you don't understand, listen to them, hear them out. Once they're spoken, then you can ask questions. As a stenographer, and to improve in communication, says ensures accurate transcripts by capturing the speaker's intended meaning and emotional tone. Now, the emotional tone, we're not so much trying to really tap into the emotions because, like I said earlier, if you're tapping into those emotions too deep, you can start to experience what they're feeling. And that we don't want to do because that can be such a distraction. And we're trying to get an accurate record, right? An accurate record. So we can improve communication as far as a stenographer or court reporter is making that contact with them, letting them know that you're here, you're there, you're looking up, you're looking at them, you're looking them in the eye, you're looking at their face, you're saying, yes, I see you. And whenever the reporter can't hear something or doesn't understand something, then you would ask the witness to repeat. Now, in the courtroom these days, I'm in the state of Massachusetts, and there used to be let me just backtrack. When I first began court reporting, the reporter produced the official record. That was considered the official record. But through time, reporters have been replaced by digital recording systems in the courtroom. So the transcript that the reporter produces is no longer considered the official record. And so when a reporter is in the courtroom with a setup like that, they do not want the reporter to interrupt the proceedings because they say, you're not the official record. So in a situation like that, all you can do is use body language. That's all you can do. You have to use body language, just nod to the witness, and maybe before the proceedings start, maybe you can, just coach them a little bit to let them know that sometimes I might have a little problem hearing you, and maybe give them a signal, like when you do a certain signal, like what do you call it? A sign language that you can use to communicate with the witness, let them know, slow down or repeat, or, you have to figure that out. But in the courtroom, we can't really say anything. We have to just sit and do the best we can. I do have, in my job when I'm working, I do record. So I do have audio backup. And the other thing is I have good skills. Yeah, I'm bragging. You have to have good skills. All right. Donna Malone is saying hello from Springfield, Massachusetts. Hi, Donna. How are you? Are you a court reporter or are you a professional in the court reporting field? Would love to have any comments if you have any. So in the courtroom in Massachusetts, because of the digital system, they consider that the official record. And when an attorney hires a reporter to come in and capture that spoken word and create a transcript, you have to come prepared. You have to come with the skills. You have to come ready, and you have to have your equipment ready. You have to have your audio ready, everything ready, so you can do the best job you can do. Now, if you're in a deposition setting, that's totally different. I love doing deposition work because you know what? We're a team. We turn that into a team. We're all working together. I can speak up. I can say, can you repeat that, please? Even if there's a videotape deposition, I still speak up if I need to. I try to be very sparingly in how often I do interrupt, but I usually try to interrupt when it's just no way that I could have, the audio probably is not going to get it. and I just don't understand it. So if I don't understand it while I'm sitting in front of you, there's no way I'm going to understand it when I go back and listen to the audio backup. So in those cases, okay, when I see that the witness has said something or there's overlap, there's cross-talking, people interrupting each other, I will say, excuse me, can you repeat that, please? And, people have been very accommodating. Again, you have to set the tone when you come in there. Be pleasant, be professional, and set the tone. Have empathy. Okay, what's the next one is increased awareness. Increased awareness. Active listening skills with empathizing causes increased self-awareness. It develops greater self-reflection by understanding how your own biases and assumptions might be affecting your interactions. So what are your biases and what are your preconceived notions about what's being said to you? Because if you have strong biases and preconceived notions about things, it may affect how you hear what is being said. All right. So step back, use that empathizing skill, empathize with the people, try to be relatable, try to understand what they're saying, put yourself in their shoes. You got to drop your biases and your preconceived notions. Okay. You got to drop them. Now, when it comes to a stenographer, talking about on a professional level, it says ensures accurate and nuanced transcripts by capturing the speaker's intended meaning and emotional tone. Now, emotional tone, as far as a verbatim transcript, when you're trying to produce a verbatim transcript, you're not actually trying to get the tone. Okay. Now, if I was a cart captioner working with a deaf person or a hard of hearing person, that's different. Okay. I may put down the person laughed, the person is crying, the person said, I might put inflection, they said it in a sad tone. That's different. That's a little different. But, cart providers, cart captioners, we use that same skill. So as far as emotions and tones and things that are happening in an environment that the person you're working for who's hard of hearing or deaf, we put that in the transcript. We put it on the screen because the client is looking at the screen and reading what you're writing. Okay, so in that sense, the emotional tone would be important. Okay. We use empathy, again, talking about empathizing will help us to capture, be more effective in our job. Okay. Increased awareness. Okay, let's go back. Okay, let's see. Did I go back? All right, so I think I went backwards. Okay, let's go before. We're at the increased self-awareness. So a stenographer helps identify, empathizing helps to identify and mitigate personal biases that might influence transcription choices. Okay, so in other words, when you're trying to capture the spoken word, we're talking about a verbatim transcript. If you have preconceived notions and biases, it may affect how you hear what is being said. Okay. So this is why it's so important that you are neutral and that you're not favoring one side or the other. And the other thing is you can't go ahead. You can't listen ahead of what the person is saying. And what I mean by that is you can't go ahead and think they're going to say something negative when it's positive. You can't go ahead and think they're going to say yes when it's a no. In other words, that's just a kind of short example. Let's go on to the fourth one, enhance emotional intelligence. Active listening with empathizing increases your ability to recognize and understand emotions in yourself and in others. Okay? And that allows you to put yourself in their shoes. Now, as a stenographer, this empathizing with active skills allows you to accurately convey the emotional weight and impact of the spoken word in the transcription. Again, we're not there to weigh things. We're not there to to convey the emotional weights and impact of the spoken word in transcription. We're not, I think this is a bad example right here. You know, we're not there. We're not there for the emotions, really, we're not. But we want to empathize. We want to be able to empathize. You know, if you have a witness that you're trying to take down their testimony and they're becoming very emotional and distraught on the witness stand, because of the fact that you are empathizing, you can put yourself in their shoes, it will make you listen on a different level. Listen in a way, again, to capture the spoken word and create that verbatim transcript. And that's what we're trying to do. That is what we're trying to do. Sometimes, you know, we have people from all spheres of life with all different types of experiences who are court reporters. Sometimes we're taking down a testimony with someone who's had a traumatic experience, a very traumatic experience. And maybe we have gone through that same experience. We could connect on an emotional level, but we have to be aware that we are in tune to that feelings. And we have to be aware to a level where we don't allow it to cause us to get traumatized. Because the moment we start to get emotional and get in our head back to what happened to us back then, way back yonder, it will affect our ability to listen and hear what is being said. Okay? So we need to be in touch when a subject matter might be affecting us. We have to be in tune with our life, what affects us, what troubles us, so that when we're in the courtroom, we won't allow our emotions to get so wrapped up in what's being said in the experience of the witness that it causes us not to be able to capture the spoken word. And I tell you, this has happened to me. I am sitting there, I'm getting emotionally, distraught right along with the witness. And, I'm still writing though. I'm still writing. I'm thinking that I'm hearing everything and I'm writing everything. But when I go back and I look at my transcript and I'm going back through it, I can see that I was being affected by the testimony. And so we have to be able to empathize, but not get so deep, right? Not so deep. We have to be aware of our own emotions, our own trauma, that we can empathize with the person, but now we are aware of where we are. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Enhanced emotional intelligence. Increasing our ability to recognize and understand emotions in yourself and others. Okay, the next one is reduce stress. I did talk about that earlier. When we can empathize with people, put ourselves in their shoes and be relatable, it will cause less stress for yourself. For me, it has. Yes, it has. And it lessens the stress for the witness and the attorneys. Remember, everybody is all reared up, ready to go. They're there. They don't really, witness, they don't want to be there. Who wants to sit there for like all day, 4 hours, answering questions back and forth? Who wants to do that? No one wants to do that. So we're there to as the court reporter, using empathy and how we interact with the witness and with the attorneys, being neutral, professional, right? We can de-escalate tense situations and foster a more peaceful and supportive environment. Sometimes things do get heated up. You got cross-talking, the witness is like trying to answer the question. And so just to interject, excuse me, please, can I get the answer? Cross-talking, and to remind them, you're cross-talking. So, but say it not in a mean way, right? Say it with empathy that you can relate. I understand. You want to answer. We understand the attorneys have objections, and we understand opposing counsel is going to be like, well, what's your objection? We don't want speaking objections. So we just want to calm everybody down, reduce the stress. Okay. If there's ambiguous and unclear speech, we have to understand the environment, understand language, and speak up when we don't understand or we didn't hear something. Okay. All right. We got, let's see, 5 more to go. Number 6, increase creativity and problem solving. For everyday personal, okay, encourages open-mindedness and the consideration of diverse perspectives, leading to more innovative solutions. So, when you're empathizing with people and you can become relatable, people are more open-minded. They're not so closed-minded. You want to talk, you want to have this conversation, right? So people be more open. And when your mind is open, it allows more creativity to come in. Okay. You're able to hear diverse perspectives. And as a group, when a group comes together, be it a family, a couple, friends, you can come together, you can resolve solutions, or even enhance you're getting together, just having a good time, right? So empathizing helps with creativity, helps with being open-minded. And as a stenographer, sometimes we have very complex cases that we have to capture the spoken word on. And when we can empathize, it'll help us to identify and capture the nuances of complex ideas and arguments, aiding in the understanding of the overall message. So the stenographer, it could be a medical case. It could be a very technical, a doctor who's an orthopedic surgeon who's talking about a surgery that he did and all that complex jargon that's spoken. When you can empathize, have empathy when it comes to knowledge that you may not have, you're being educated, actually. As the expert is talking, all right, you because you have an open mind, you're open-minded. Those complex ideas, they may be hard at first, but as you continue to listen, because this is what has happened, sometimes sometimes you don't have information about the case. You don't even know it's going to be a complex case that day. You don't even know. You know it's a medical deposition, but you don't know the topic. So being open and empathizing and being open-minded, okay, allows you to be able to capture the spoken word more easily, okay? Because your mind is open. So my empathy, communication skills, it opens you up. Improve conflict resolution enables you to understand the root causes of conflict and find mutually agreeable situations. So we talked about that before. Of course, when people are able to hear each other, they're open-minded, if there's a problem, we can get together and we can solve the problem. And the stenographer provides a neutral and objective record of discussions, facilitating fair and accurate representation of all viewpoints. So if she's there and there's a conflict, our job is not to get out of role and start talking to people and telling people what to do and giving counsel and all that. No, we're going to sit there and we're going to take the word and we're going to capture the word, be professional about it in that situation. Okay. 2 more. Improve well-being. As a stenographer, I can say the job it can be very rewarding. It can be exciting. It could be, the topic can be very interesting sometimes. And it could be a great learning experience, but also there's stress that can build up. And what I have done through the years is physically try to be physically active and try to be as healthy as I can be. Exercising. These days I go swimming. That's my go-to. But empathy, empathizing can foster stronger social connections and a greater sense of belonging, leading to improved mental and emotional health. So, the way we interact with each other is so important. How we interact with each other, it can affect our emotional health. As a stenographer, it says provides a sense of purpose and fulfillment by contributing to the accurate and meaningful communication of important information. Yes, it's a stressful environment. Yes, it's exciting at times. Sometimes it's just a lot of things. But knowing why you're there, empathizing, being relatable, and also having a sense of purpose, right? While you're capturing that spoken word, knowing that you're going to create a verbatim record. That's important. So that goes with well-being. We have to realize that as we go through things and we're interacting with people, communication skills, and all this, we also, as a reporter, have to keep remembering why we're there. We're there to create a verbatim record. And when we know we've done a good job and we've used our active listening skills, right? We're using empathy and it helped us get that record for the day. It will improve our emotional well-being. And the very last one is professional growth. Using empathy with active listening skills improves interpersonal skills, making you a more effective communicator and collaborator in all areas of life. Now, who wouldn't want that? We are to improve. We all want to improve as professionals, and even in our personal life, we want to improve our interpersonal skills. So when we can empathize with people, put ourselves, become relatable, listen to the person's perspective, and hear people out, calm down, listen, it does improve your interpersonal skills, your personal skills, and your professional skills, okay? As a stenographer, using empathy with active listening skills enhances professionalism, accuracy, and value as a skilled and empathetic court reporter. And that's what we want in the end. That number 10 is like, it just puts it all into perspective, you know? Active listening skills are so important. We all use them every day, but the problem is we don't use them effectively. We don't use them effectively. All right, so I'm just going to pause for a moment and give you a moment to write something in the chat box. Tell me, what have you learned so far? Has this been helpful? Did you hear something you haven't heard before? Do you think that now, as a court reporting professional, that you want to learn more about active listening skills? Okay, we do have a course we're going to create, and we'll keep you all posted about that. But for now, we're just want to share and flesh out this active listening skills, how we as court reporting professionals can improve ourselves. Okay, and that last one, improving our professionalism, yes, and our accuracy, and to be valued as a skilled and empathetic court reporter. Okay. So now we're at the point where we're going to give you 3 examples. Now we talked about it. So now it's time to look at some examples of how we would apply what we've been talking about. Okay. Um, so we got three scenarios. Three scenarios. Okay. So this is a everyday, this is the first one. Okay, the first one. Um, we have a family. They're together in their beautiful dining room, having dinner together. And during this family dinner, a teenage sibling expresses frustration about school. Instead of dismissing their concerns, you actively listen, reflecting their feelings. And you will say something like, it sounds like you're feeling overwhelmed and stressed. See, we're trying to be relatable. You have a teenager who's upset and expressing frustration. And then you want to ask a clarifying question to understand their perspective. This encourages open communication and helps your sibling feel heard and supported. This is so important with parents talking with their young people, okay, their child coming home from school, frustrated about what's happening in high school, right? Listen to their frustration. Listen attentively and then ask a clarifying question that will help open the communication. That's just a small example. Okay, so here is another example. Actually, it looks like yeah, this is a second example, and this one is a stenographer capturing the spoken word. The reporter is trying to capture the spoken word. Okay, here she is, he or she. You are transcribing a witness's testimony in a sensitive case. The witness becomes emotional while describing a traumatic event. You maintain focus, paying close attention to their tone of voice, pauses, and any nonverbal cues. You transcribe their words accurately while also capturing the emotional weight and impact of their testimony. Now, again, the emotional component really would come with probably the way you would put in your punctuation, because sometimes people are talking, they trail off, right? So sometimes we might want to put an ellipses in there because they're trailing off. In a courtroom testimony, we don't want to put in things like, the only thing we can really put in the record, I can say, is when a person is testifying, they're getting really emotional, is we can put in parentheses crying, right? We can put that in there. We can put in laughter or chuckle that this is what the witness is doing. In some places they will say no, don't do that, to just take the testimony. But if you have a witness who's giving testimony and they actually are crying, you have to do something, right? Well, if the person is talking and they're getting very emotional and now they're crying, you might want to put some dashes in the record, dashes, and then put in parentheses, witness crying. Certain things we can't put in there. But we have to be very careful that, again, we're not showing favoritism when we're doing this. Okay, we've got two more examples. Here is another one. This is a everyday life example, a workplace conflict. Two colleagues are having a heated argument. You intervene, actively listening to both sides of the story without taking sides. You reflect their feelings, summarize their perspectives, and encourage them to find common ground. This helps de-escalate the situation and facilitates a constructive resolution. Okay? So again, we're empathizing, we're using empathy, we're listening to both sides of the story. We're not, favoring one person or the other. We listen, and this helps to de-escalate. And you try to encourage them. You don't interject yourself and tell them what to do. You don't give your input, your opinion, because again, that could make them feel like, one side's being favored than the other. You encourage them to find common ground. Okay. And our very last one, our last example, this is a stenographer capturing the spoken word, and it's a medical interview. You're transcribing a doctor-patient interview. The patient is describing their symptoms and concerns. You actively listen to their medical history, current symptoms, and any emotional distress they may be experiencing. You accurately transcribe their words, ensuring that the doctor has a complete and accurate record of the patient's concerns. Now, that's a medical interview type of scenario, but like I had said before, sometimes you could be listening to testimony, capturing the spoken word of someone who's talking about a traumatic event, something that happened. They're telling you everything, how they went down the street, and as they were driving the car, all of a sudden, bam, and hear a car, running into them, and I was injured, and my leg got twisted and bent, and just talking about all the things that happened to that accident. Your focus should be on what? Capturing the spoken word. Okay. Listening, yes, empathizing, but again, not getting so deep that it become a distraction and you're not able to capture the spoken word. So that's a few examples that I gave here. And I invite you in the comments section to give me some of your examples or give me questions. I can come back and maybe give some examples. Maybe if I can relate, share my empathy with you with the examples that you have. So that's the end of our presentation for today with our active listening using empathizing skills. And this allows us to do what? We'll be able to hear more, and understand what is being said. Okay, it would help us to hear more, understand. It would be able to help people to have an open mind to listen to you, to hear with you. And as a court reporter, you always want to connect with your attorneys, with the witness, with the judge, with the clerk. You want to connect with people. Don't be so tunnel vision that you just come into the courtroom, set up your equipment, I'm ready, and not speak to people. Okay? We want to relate. We want to relate with the people that we interact with as a court reporting professional. All right. So that's the end of that. If this was a great learning experience, if this was very helpful to you, I do encourage you to uh, what I want to say. What I want to say, be a subscriber and hit on that notification bell. And I'm going to share my slide with you. Here's my slide. I want to share. And I do provide training and for Eclipse software. That's the software I use, and that's some information there for you to get in touch with me. For the court reporting professionals, those of you who are stenographers using the Eclipse software. I am taking students. You can sign up for a strategy session with me. If you've been using the software for a while, we can do that survey. There is a fee for the survey and consultation. And then again, just reminding you, if you've heard something, it was helpful, subscribe. And we're going to be talking about this active listening for a while. Okay, we're going to talk about this for a while until I flesh this out. My goal is to be on YouTube every day, at least one video a day, for at least 30 days. Sometimes I can't do a video every day, but we do our best. So beyond words, active listening skills for the court reporting professional. That's what we're talking about. And today we talked about empathy, empathizing, which will allow us to do what? Hear more and understand more. All right, guys, that's it for today. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. We've got stop, start sharing.